Life is good 13, 13 love you all. You are creation 13. I'm Ambassador Adam Starseed, and today I want to talk to you about the 13th perception. Many people are really confusing, like what I say, 13 love, life is good 13, you are creation 13. People are really starting to be confused by it because they think it is a trend that's happening, or people are just saying it just because somebody else said it. For me personally, and you can look this up for yourself. The 13 perception has been known for quite a while. You can do lots of research on what the 13 perception is. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with dimensions, like to talk about in the previous video. It has to do with the 0 point and the foundational structure of creation itself, of your own soul. You can also label it the abyss. You can label it as the mother of all creation. You can label it as the birth of consciousness, the wormhole of perception, per se, or the 0 point. That's what the 13 perception is. It's like a clock wheel. Whichever way you want to turn the clock. There's 13. It's not just 12, just like the clocks that we have. The clocks that we have should have 13 on them, but it is incorrect, um, because when you get 13 is creation. You got 13 cycles in the moon. This is why I do the 30-day cycle. There's 13 cycles in a moon. So this whole perceived year thing is false because it never completes its 13 cycles. So you get out of alignment with this calendar, with this Gregorian calendar. You get out of alignment and you fall into the rituals and structures that humans have created for you. You get into that magical spell. Just like on New Year's, when that ball drops, um, that means that they got you. You dropped the ball. You were rising up. Towards the end to whatever perceived New Year's is. The ball reaches all the way to the top. You've risen up, and then when the new year happens, that drop off or that ball drops, and then you start all over again. That's a hint right there that you are recycling yourself. You've risen up so much, you've learned so much over the preceded year, and then you start all over again. You're totally neglecting what you've learned. So you have to get out of that. So that's what this 13 perception is. When I say life is good 13, I'm talking about the 0 point. I'm not talking about dimensions. I'm talking about the 0 point. Remembering the mother of all creation, the universal womb, the creation of consciousness. There's so many aspects. The universal God, if you want to call it. That is the 0 point. We have all came from the 0 point. And I was having a conversation with a person on YouTube, and they were talking about how their God is more powerful than my God, and I kept telling him, it's the creation of everything. The universal God is everything. It is the it's a creational foundation of energy, of synergy. I talked about that in my new Absu video. Um, it's everything. You gotta view things as, say there's nothing here, right? And then an idea happened. Okay, so a circle was created, and then when a circle was created, you're like, oh, what is this? Just like in the Bible, talking about how the planet was made. So you just have to imagine, that a circle was made. And this is where there's a lot of arguments of, well, if perception was created, right, then who created the perception, or who created the consciousness in the first place? That's the 0 point. Um, there was there was nothing. It was the abyss. There's no words you can really put on what was happened before this circle. There's no words to it. So all we can do is just label it as the abyss. That's it. That's all we can label it, is just the abyss. Unless if you can actually physically see it, or know what you're talking about, you just call it the abyss. So this is the 0 point. This is the abyss. Nothing. And then boom, you're out of the abyss, and you're learning. This is your soul, your spirit just became born. Okay, and then you start expanding on that. So you were one. So your soul was born, and then you begin to expand into what emotions or dimensions. So your soul expands into different aspects of souls, and this is how everything happens. This is where the Big Bang Theory, or whatever you want to call it. See, it looks just like, what does it look like? Like what I've talked about before, the solar system and the sun. This is the sun. This is your soul, and these are the planets that circle around the soul, or the sun. This is the solar systems. The solar systems right here, right in here. It's all within you, and if you look at this, it's also like an atom. Even like right here, I just started to create kind of an atom thing, or DNA structure, and you keep expanding on that even more. It expanded, and then it expands again. Because it continues to expand and grow, and seeing it turns into a DNA structure. You can also call it a honeycomb. Bees, the honeycomb. It continues to expand and grow. This is the foundational structure of the 0 point, or what I call 13, because it's the 13th perception. That is the from my understanding and learning, self-learning, not from books, self-learning of how things multiply. And this is our job, to continue to multiply creation, with different ideas and viewpoints. Like I said, this can be Arcturian, this can be Lyran, this can be Earth, humanity, so on and so forth. And we create different aspects, and it feeds it back to the original source, the original soul right here. So all these things are interconnected, so you're constantly feeding. So if you're down here, you send it to that one, and then you send it to that one. It's all interlinked. We're all interconnected. We are energy feeding each other information. And this is also where if you hear some people talk about how you are aligning yourself, you align yourself with Arcturian, Lyran self. This is what they're talking about. The 13th perception. You're aligning yourself, You're aligning yourself with different aspects of yourself. You're remembering your connection to source. You're remembering your connection to spirit. And that is how you constantly are rebirthed. And you can also view this as the wormhole, on how we are born into the solar system. So we have a Milky Way center. We are born in there as our spirit goes through there, enters into this solar system, and then we are born into this solar system. It's pretty complex stuff, but this is what I talk about when I say 13. When I'm talking about 13 love, it means remembering spirit, remembering the source of everything. It's not just a word. It means something. And you can do research and find out this meaning. But if the best research is inside, you're going to find the true meaning of it. And I've had other people say, well, what would 13 be in a different language? Well, that's where you have to find out. Yeah. So anyway, so this is 13, the 0 point. This is what I mean every time I say 13. You are creation 13. You are creation 13 right here. So yeah. So I love you all very much. If you have any questions, let me know. And talk to you in a little bit.